makes it an ace for Gambit. He's got a red buff on. That's dangerous. Svenska once again in the right place at the right time.
He's just going to pounce in Cougar form. Comes on towards him. The claws come out and Froggen gets a kill.
Silent did get the dragon. The Smite Master strikes again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the European LCS, coming your way live from our studios in Cologne, Germany. I'm Joe Miller, along with Trevor Quickshot Henry, and we're deep into week 9 as these teams move ever closer to the end of the spring split.
This crowd is super excited, and Joe, with all the games left in the split, 7 left for the two teams, the chances are getting smaller and smaller as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the spring split. Today we're going to find out how these teams will handle the pressure, because as we mentioned, with only 7 games left, we're going to be playing one of those here today, and we're getting closer to the playoffs and relegation.
But before we get into today's games, let's take a look at some of the big stories from around the world. Let's start with the GPL, which is currently in their quarterfinal stages, and each of those series is a best of 5.
Yeah, so on Wednesday this week, AHQ Esports managed to destroy the Singapore Sentinels. They went 3-0. Earlier today, the Saigon Jokers managed to edge out the Saigon Fantastic 5 3-1. So both of those teams have advanced to the semifinals, and they're going to carry on their playoff bracket next week.
And over in Korea, the Masters tournament is still running, and SK Telecom T1 was able to overcome Najin EM Fire 2-1, but it was far from a clean victory.
Yeah, so those games were incredibly exciting. And SK T1K actually managed to come back from way behind. They had their Nexus turrets destroyed, their inhibitors were down. They bounced back, closed out the win, and secured the series. But sticking with the team, it's interesting to see how some of the other teams in Korea are able to push T1K to their limits.
Yeah.
Just earlier today, in the regular OGN spring matches, T1K was unusually sloppy against Prime O. They almost lost the game, but they managed to win it, and the next game was a lot more clinical. So maybe some chinks in that T1K armor.
And back here in Europe, Alliance are now on a 5-game winning streak and looked good again yesterday against Gambit.
Yeah, we are seeing a much more objective-based gameplay and far less individual errors and misplays, which is what has allowed them to secure those 5 games back-to-back. Let's see if they can keep up those winnings ways, because with only a few weeks left before the end of the split, Alliance needs to make sure they have an ability to consistently win games. It's something that they've not had. Think back to their curse of winning everything one week, losing everything the next week from earlier in the split. As a team, they have grown. Their current performance is good, but we need to see if it's going to stabilize and stay at that high level.
And SK Gaming, of course, are now top of the table and look to be the team to beat. They've won 9 games out of their last 11.
Yeah, SK Gaming is the 4th team to actually sit in first place position of the European LCS. They've joined teams like Fnatic, Rocket, and Gambit. However, in my opinion, SK have held a higher standard of play for a longer period of time. Because they've won 9 of those 11 matches that you mentioned, it demonstrates an ability to perform in 5 weeks of games. No other team has had that stable, high-level performance from anybody else. They've all dropped off. Think about Gambit, think about Rocket, think about Fnatic. So we'll see if SK can keep it up.
Now, let's see where the teams stand then after yesterday's matches. And before we begin today's, up at the top of the table is SK Gaming, as we mentioned. 13 wins, 8 losses to their name. In second is Gambit at 12 for 9. And then in third, we have a 3-way tie once again here in Europe. Alliance, Fnatic, and Rocket both are 11 for 10. The question is, will Alliance continue that 5-game winning streak? And can Rocket snap out their 4-game losing streak?
Big questions. We'll have to see if they get answered today. 6th position, though, it is the Copenhagen Wolves. They are 10 and 11. Super Hot Crew, remember, they've got their new guy in the mid lane, Selfie. They are now in 7th position, 9 and 12. Not out of the running just yet for playoffs. Millennium, however, things are looking very dark for them at 7 and 14. They cannot afford to accrue more losses, otherwise they're very seriously looking at a relegations position.
Indeed. Now let's take a moment to highlight some of the plays from yesterday that had you guys cheering on Twitter. Here's your top 3 hashtag LCS big plays. First up was the big moment from the big man in the Rocket versus Fnatic game, At Larderhaug said the ex-Peke body slam flash combo at about 33 minutes and 15 seconds in, very precise there. Godlike. This is your third most talked about play.
Zaza's going to get stunned up. Not sure they've got the damage to deal with him. They need to get rid of Overpower and Banda, and that's exactly what they do. Both of those go down. Zaza still at about a third of his HP.
That body slam was great. The next one also came from the same game, just a few minutes later though, and it featured the same big, bad, bearded barrel man. It comes to us from @SharpPractice. Expeke with that triple kill to win the game. This was your second big play. Caught Soas again. There goes Reckless with the pallet.
Not the dragon you're looking for here from this one. Jankos is going to kick Reckless away from the team. The knockup comes through from Overpower, but they're going to destroy him here. Jankos now the next target. That will be another kill for Peke. The inhibitor will be finished off as Vanda gets knocked back by the barrel. Finished off as well.
A day full of big Gragas plays yesterday, that's for sure. But the biggest play of them all came from the explosive debut of Super Hot Crew's new mid laner, Selfie, against Millennium. Dan Stewart sent this one in. He said, Selfie with a 1v4 into the kill on Nidalee, the clone juke for the K ulti. Welcome to the LCS. This is your #1 LCS big play.
The Stan United is available, the hook on Mima, but that's just going to trigger. They're all grouped up. That's perfect placement. And Selfie just catches all 4 of them with his distortion.
Jerry just got exploded there, and the fact he hits 4 members with distortion, so much damage. So now Curb.
Curb's going to get caught out. That's going to stun him up there. The finish should come through.
Wow.
There it is. And now on towards Aranea. Can he get a second one? He will not.
It's a clone. It's a clone.
It's the clone though. Oh, and he gets Aranea. No, not quite managing to finish him off there. Good turnaround from Kraton.
Such a great play, and it has to be such a big confidence booster for his first game on the big stage.
Yeah.
Well played to Selfie indeed. For you guys at home, remember that you can keep sending your big plays our way on Twitter @LOL Esports. Remember to use that hashtag LCS Big Plays.
And we'll be looking for even more big plays today as these teams look to battle and improve their spots in the table. We'll be kicking off first of all with Gambit versus Millennium. Important match for both of them to improve their position. And then Roccat will face off against SK Gaming.
Then we'll have an Alliance crew going up against the Super Hot crew. And finally closing things out in the LCS will be Fnatic versus the Copenhagen Wolves. But immediately afterwards, we'll have more matches for you with the Ninjas in Pajamas taking on Reason Gaming in the European Challenger semi-finals.
And for more details about today's matches, player statistics, VODs, and a whole lot more, head over to lolesports.com. That's also where you can vote on our games today and call the winners as you see them. Just check on the schedule link at the top of the page and make your selections.
Yeah, we will be checking your picks throughout the day, so cast your ballot now and support your favorite teams. While you're on the site, be sure to click the tickets link on top of everything you need to know to join us here live in the studio to see the pros compete in person.
And we'd also like you to give us a bit of a knowledge buff on Twitter. Today we're asking you, which European LCS team do you think is the most likely to be in the top seed going into the playoffs, and why?
I always try to answer these questions, and I think if we go based on recent games, SK Gaming has to be considered. They really have to. They've been playing very well, and we'll see if they can keep it up. You guys can always find us at LOL Esports, and be sure to use the hashtag LCS so we can reach some